Let's bake this delicious cinnamon sugar star bread step by step. I'm Rhiannon, owner of the Epsom Bakehouse, and join me today to bake this delicious cinnamon sugar star bread step by step. You can find the recipe in the link below this video, and you can also sign up for my newsletter to get more bread making tips and recipes and information about all my online classes. And if you sign up for the newsletter, as a thank you, you'll get 3 free quick and simple bread recipes that you can bake at home in minutes. Find all the links below this video. So today you're joining me to bake this star bread step by step. What a fantastic festive treat. This will be the centerpiece of any celebration, and it is really a delicious sweet bread. So follow along with the video as you'll find out the ingredients and then the process each step of the way to make this bread. Let's start with the ingredients for your cinnamon sugar star. First up, some strong white wheat bread flour. So using a flour that have a higher protein content. This one's usually about 11 to 13 grams of protein per 100 grams of flour. And that protein, some of it will translate to gluten, and that will then provide structure in your final bread and hold that magnificent shape so that your bread can be a real centerpiece. Adding into that some salt, which not only gives flavour, but also strengthens that gluten structure of your final bread, and also some yeast. I'm using the instant active easy bake yeast. It may have all or some of those names, but essentially it's very small particles that you can add straight into your dough. If you're using fresh yeast, you can crumble it into your flour. Remember to double the amount in the recipe. And if you're using dried yeast, which is bigger particles, you'll have to rehydrate it in the water. So weigh out the water for this recipe, add the yeast in and leave it to stand for 10-15 minutes before you add it into your dough. Then enriching your dough, firstly with some sugar. This is a sweet recipe, so there is some sugar in the dough, and also some butter. Chop that into cubes so it's ready to knead into your dough. And the butter, the fats from the butter will add that final light fluffiness to your finished bread. And then also adding in some water and also some milk, which is also going to help enrich your dough, fats and sugar in the milk as well. And that will help enrich your dough more with that fats, which add in that softness to your final bread and some sweetness and really make a delicious centerpiece. And finally, mix up some cinnamon sugar. So some sugar there with about a tablespoon of ground cinnamon in, and that is going to be your filling for your bread later on once your dough is risen and you're ready to make your final shape. Once you've got all your ingredients ready, you can then move on to making up the dough. Let's make up the dough now. And first up, add in your dry ingredients to your flour in a large bowl. So first add the salt on one side of the bowl, and then if you're using that easy bake yeast and you're just adding it straight in, add it on the other side of the bowl. Just keeping those two separate, because if you then add the water on top and dissolve the salt, your yeast may start to absorb the salt and that can slow down the action of your yeast. So you don't want that to happen. So we keep them separate, and when they're mixed into the flour will act as a buffer. Then also add in the sugar and give everything a good mix. Then you can start to add in the liquid, and you're going to weigh in the water. Now, if it is a really cool day, you could have this at just at your hand temperature, nothing warmer, and that will help the yeast with that slightly warmer temperature. But remember, anything above your body temperature, so above your hand temperature, will start to slow down and eventually kill off the yeast activity. So don't make your dough too warm. So weigh in your water, because 1 milliliter of water weighs 1 gram, so you can directly convert. And then add in your milk as well. Have your butter ready, cubed up at the side, because you're going to knead this into the dough now. So grab a spoon or a dough scraper if you have one and begin to bring your dough together. Now it should be quite wet and sticky. You definitely don't need to add in any additional flour. You want the dough to be quite wet and sticky. It should come together, but you don't want to dry out your dough, because if it's not stretchy and elastic, your final bread won't rise, and then you'll bake something more like a brick rather than anything that you'd really want to eat. Occasionally, you might need to scrape off what you're mixing with. So it's a good idea to use a spoon or a scraper because that will be much easier to get all the dough off rather than off your hands at this stage. And just bring that wet dough back in and start to bring together all of the dry bits of the dough into that final ball of dough and scrape down your bowl as well. Then turn your dough out onto an unfloured surface. Again, not adding in any extra flour so you don't dry out your dough. And bring that ball of dough together. And then you can start adding in the butter. So hopefully your butter has softened a little bit and you can start to knead it in. And the butter will just absorb, obviously it will melt in the heat of your hand. So it will absorb into that dough really well. So keep stretching and kneading the butter into the dough. And as you're kneading, your flour is absorbing all of the liquid, not just from the butter, but also from the milk and the water. And it will begin to form that gluten as the flour absorbs the liquid. And your dough will become more stretchy and elastic. So keep kneading your dough. And it's really, really sticky. You can see here, really sticky dough. Don't worry, it's meant to be like that. It should be really sticky and stretchy. So keep kneading your dough and getting that butter absorbed in. Final piece of butter there, and it will just, under the heat of your hand, absorb into that dough. So keep kneading your dough until it is stretchy and smooth and elastic. So you can stretch it out like this, stretch it backwards and forwards. And you can also do this in a mixer as well. So you can add all the dry ingredients into a mixer, then add the milk and water and bring it together into a ball of dough, and then gradually add the butter until all of that is absorbed. And do that on a really low speed. It is possible to over knead your dough. Those gluten strands are formed, they're quite fragile. So on a low speed, maybe for 5 to 10 minutes. But keep checking it every couple of minutes to see if it's nice and stretchy and elastic. So you can see there my dough is starting to get really stretchy and elastic. You can check if your dough is kneaded enough by breaking off a nice large chunk and just gradually stretching it out from the middle with your thumb and fingers, like you're making a small pizza. And if you can stretch it thin enough to see the light through, you might be able to see my finger there behind, without it breaking. Mine's still breaking a little bit here, so I'm going to knead it a bit longer. But if you can stretch it thin enough to see the light through without it breaking, like a window, then it passes the window pane test and your dough is kneaded enough. So then you can move on and leave your dough to rise. So when your dough has passed the window pane test, then put it back into the bowl and cover your bowl well. I'm just using these shower caps in the kitchen and cover your bowl well. And you're going to leave this dough to rise for at least an hour to an hour and a half, especially if it's cooler. And obviously, if you added in milk that was slightly cool, your dough is going to rise a bit more slowly. The enrichment that you've added in, that fats from the butter and the milk and the sugar as well, also slow down your dough rising. So bear that in mind. Give your dough plenty of time to rise. Come back in about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Leave your dough somewhere in your kitchen. It could be just on the side if your kitchen's an ambient temperature of about 16 to 20 degrees centigrade. You could, for example, I have my hob here, the stove top, and it has lights over it. So I just put the lights on. That's a little bit of warmth there that can help your dough rise as well, especially on a cooler day. An alternative might be if you have a microwave or oven that's not switched on, but you could put, for example, a cup of hot or boiling water very carefully inside and then close the door, and that water will warm the environment in the much more smaller enclosed space and help your dough rise as well. Otherwise, you can pop your dough on the side, leave it to rise, as I say, for about an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if it's cooler, a shorter time if it is a warmer day, and then come back and we'll shape your dough. Once your dough has risen, you should see that it's filled out the bowl. It should be beautiful and smooth on top, and you should be able to punch it down quite easily. It should be full of gas. So you're now ready to shape your cinnamon star bread. Have a large lined baking tray ready to put your assembled bread on. You'll also now need your cinnamon sugar as well. Turn out your dough onto the work surface, and then you're going to divide it into 3 equal pieces. So you might want to just measure it, weigh it, and then divide it up that way. Once you've got your 3 pieces of bread, you're going to gradually roll them out into a circle. So if your dough is sticking, then use a very, very small amount of flour just underneath that first bit so that you can release it from the work surface as you gradually work it out into a circle that's about 1 centimetre thick. You do not want to put lots and lots of flour down. It will dry out your dough, and also you'll have raw flour on the inside of your final bread. So keep it as minimal as possible and just keep turning the dough as you stretch it out. When you move it, it is going to change shape slightly. It might be a bit frustrating, but keep rolling it out. And then once you've got it to a rough circle, it doesn't need to be completely perfect. It's about 1 centimetre thick. Then you can transfer it to your baking tray. So just keep making sure it's not too stuck to the underside of your work surface, and then you can gradually work it out. Now, it may spring back, so you may find you get to a point where you've rolled it out and it springs back when you move it. That's totally natural because of those gluten strands. They're like elastic strands. So just bear that in mind, that your dough might spring back once you move it onto the baking tray. Once you've got your first piece of dough onto the baking tray, then you can sprinkle on about a third of your cinnamon sugar mixture. So pop that onto your dough. Then you'll need to repeat that process with the other 2 pieces of dough. So start to roll them out into a similar sized circle, about 1 centimetre thick of dough, and then place one on top of your first circle of dough on the baking sheet. Make sure it's spread out to roughly the same width and same diameter of that circle of dough. And then you're going to sprinkle again the sugar on top of that piece of dough, and then repeat. So you will only put sugar between the first 2 pieces of dough and then not on top of that final piece of dough. When you have the second piece of dough on top, sprinkle your remaining cinnamon sugar liberally across that and spread it out if needed to the edges. And then you're ready to roll out that final piece of dough and add it on top of your bread. And then once you've got all of your dough pieces stacked, you can trim the edges to make it into a neat circle if you wish. And don't worry, you can still bake those trimmings as a little bun separately. Don't need to waste them. So now you're going to make your star shape. So take something like a small cutter about 5 or 6 centimeters in diameter, or you could use a glass, and place that in the center of your circle of dough. And it's important in this shaping that you don't cut anywhere inside that circle. So use that as a marker. Then you're going to take a sharp knife and first cut the dough into quarters. So cut out from the center circle, not inside that circle. Remember, make sure you have that bit in the middle, all the way through the layers on the outside of the dough. So you should now have 4 quarters. Then you're going to cut those in half again. And so now you have 8, and you finally want to end up with 16. So cut those 8 pieces one last time in half. Finally, you should end up with 16 strands coming out from your center marking. So you can take that off once you've made that. So you're now going to take in pairs 2 of the strands that you've cut and twist each of them away from each other. So start wherever you want to start and twist them up so that you see those layers of cinnamon sugar and dough. So do one twisting to the left and then do its partner on its right hand side, twist it out to the right. So you get opposite swirls of dough. And then point the ends together so that you get that star point. So you're now going to do that for all of the pairs. If it's very, very sticky, you could use some water or olive oil on your hands and be careful not to pull the strands out because you'll make a very thin piece at the top where it's attached to the center circle and that might break or burn in the oven. So be very careful and very gentle, just twisting all of those strands, working your way round in those pairs and pressing those ends together to make a point. So work your way round now, the dough, each pair, the left-hand side, twisting it out to the left, turning it anti-clockwise, and then the right one, turning it clockwise, and getting those beautiful strands of dough. And there you have your dough shaped into that cinnamon star. Make sure you point each of those twists. You've got that center point, and you're ready now to let this rise again one further time for about 45 minutes to an hour. And towards the end of that rising time, you're going to preheat your oven to about 200 degrees centigrade, ready to bake your star. So make sure your dough is covered well. You might want to use oiled cling film or a piece of baking paper that won't stick, or you could turn a large bowl or baking tray that's a deep baking tray over the top of this to make sure it doesn't dry out whilst it rises. And place it somewhere in your kitchen, nothing too warm. It could be on the side in your kitchen, perhaps under the hob lights or the stovetop lights. Or in an enclosed space like your microwave, leaving it just to rise and then come back and you can bake it. So when your dough is risen, you're going to preheat the oven to about 205 degrees centigrade and bake your star loaf for about 20 to 25 minutes. And if you wish, you can egg wash your dough just before it goes into the oven to give that beautiful glossy brown finish to your final loaf. So once you've done that, it will be ready to go into the oven and bake your delicious bread. And there you have your final cinnamon sugar star bread out of the oven. It smells absolutely delicious, ready to tear and share. And you could certainly sift some powdered sugar or icing sugar over the top of this to make a beautifully festive centerpiece. If you'd like the recipe, remember you can get that in the link below this video. And you can also sign up for my regular newsletter where you can get more bread making tips and recipes and information about all my online classes that you can join me to learn step by step more delicious breads to bake at home. Do let me know how your cinnamon sugar star bread turns out. I love to see what you bake after following a video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for more delicious bread baking at home with the Epsom Bakehouse.